All right, let's take you live now to the Lebombo border post in Mpumalanga, where Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber is on a site visit. The crossing into neighbouring Mozambique remains closed, owing to post-election violence there. Officials on both sides are under pressure to resolve the challenge, with queues of freight trucks stretching back kilometres. Our reporter, Mweli Masilela, is tracking that story. Mweli, a very good afternoon to you. And not ideal conditions for the truck drivers who are forced to sit in those queues.
Yes, indeed, Michelle, not a conducive environment for the truck drivers, as well as also the officers on the ground who have to work around the clock to ensure that the situation is normal. But the minister has concluded his tour here at the Lebombo border post, and if I can sum up his briefing or the message he was trying to convey today is that South Africa can't be blamed for the current situation, because this is something that is happening on the Mozambican side, as the government of South Africa, they don't have much control in as far as the situation is concerned. But let's get the latest from the Deputy Commissioner General David Chilembe. Quite a very desperate situation when you look at the queue of the trucks, as well as officers having to work around the clock to ensure that the situation is calm and is manageable. Can we expect things to get better as the day progresses or as the next few days come?
We hope things will get better, because the country started now talking to the other side. Although we haven't started, but we, as on the ground, we are talking to our counterparts just to check what is the situation. And they advise us from time to time that we can process trucks and all those issues. But everything is dependent on them. It's not us. From our side, you can see there is movement, but because of the layout of the port, we can't allow the trucks to go, because there's no space in between the two ports. If we were having a space, we would have moved all the trucks on their side, but because of that impasse. So that's why we're also being affected.
When we were talking earlier, you said you don't like this language that we're using to say that the border is closed. What is the best way to describe the situation here?
Yeah, the border is not closed. We suspend certain services from time to time based on advice from their side.
And then looking into the overall operation here, we know that we're going for the festive season, and also we saw that there are some drones that are being officially launched today, and some buses. If you can tell us about those operations, what is it that can be expected here at the border?
That's a strategy of border management, because we want to use technology to assist us in the work that we have been given to do. It's not that it's for the festive season, but it's our strategy, where we are buying drones, we are buying vessels, we are buying other technological issues that will make our work easy.
Deputy Commissioner, I know that you are focusing more on law enforcement, but this question has been asked several times. The issue of the truck drivers, as to whether when you engage other stakeholders, is there any way of trying to ensure that their conditions here at the border are looked into, they are assisted with resources like water and some food items?
Yeah, we have spoken to the private sector. They are coming up with a plan where they will be assisting the truck drivers in supplying them with water, food, or whatever. Because our responsibility is at the port of entry. The corridor is not really our responsibility. The corridor affects what we do. But that is why we are bringing in private sector, the owners of the trucks, to help the situation on the road.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us. Michelle, that's the Deputy Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, General David Chilembe, just giving us an update about what is happening here. As we have heard, Michelle, he says he doesn't like the language to say the border post is closed. They are saying they are suspending operations from time to time, of course, after receiving advice from their Mozambican counterparts, but we'll continue looking into the situation. At the present moment, we can see there's just very little movement as far as pedestrians as well as light motor vehicles are concerned. But on the other side, looking into the trucks, the queue is not moving at all, Misha.
It's very interesting, Mweli, what he has to say about the truck drivers and that there's very little that the Border Management Authority can do. Those truck drivers have been appealing even to government to build some kind of truck stop in that region for incidents like this when they happen, to increase security in that region. But the Border Management Authority telling you that that's really up to the freight companies themselves.
Yes, indeed. Even there's a lot of people who have been distancing themselves, even the government, to say that the private sector are the ones who are actually involved in the transportation of the goods from South Africa to Mozambique, the trucking companies. So the biggest question, I was trying to speak to some representatives of the gift of the givers. They say that as much as they are willing to help, but there's that kind of a conversation to say, what are the companies that are actually employing these truck drivers saying about the situation? Why are they not on the ground to say, here is some help, get some water, get some food? Why are they not even considering suspending these operations? In fact, that was a plea that even came from the Minister of Transport when she was here, Barbara Creasy, to say that the owners of those trucks must consider actually halting the transportation of goods into Mozambique, because it's very clear that the situation in that country is not conducive for them to continue doing their work. So that is what is happening. Even if you talk to the truck drivers, they don't want to talk more about their employers, but they, as we have said, they have been saying that at least government should come to their rescue and ensure that there are facilities, especially along the N4 toll route, because as much as this is now a worse situation compared to previous years, this is something that has been happening, but it is now worsened by the protests in Mozambique. So it's something they've been calling for, saying that at least if there is a truck stop, they'll be able to take showers and do many other things and rest and then go to the different destinations, Michelle.